Well, for nearly 20 years now, I've interviewed Brooks and Dunn, and I have to admit it was a little odd to walk into a room and not see Kix there. But I had a great conversation with Ronnie Dunn about his upcoming CD and the song Bleed Red. We talked about Tommy Lee James, the songwriter, who you may recall was a member of the band, and Tommy helped him out with his reluctance to cut the song.
Initially, I said, it sounds like something that U2 would do. It sounded like a U2 track, you know, that big universal cosmic message. And I was struggling with it a couple of rounds. And he finally said, try this, R.D. He said, close your eyes and think of Conway Twitty doing a U2 song. So whatever works.
What a mix.
Yeah,
what a mix.
I did it, and it worked. We got a vocal. So there's that.
Ronnie Dunn's solo will be out on June the 7th. More from that conversation with Ronnie coming up on future shows here on Shannon Country. Today's show is brought to you by Justin Boots. Check out their new Stampede collection for men and women. Go to justinboots.com for a location near you. Who's in the studio in Nashville? Miranda Lambert is recording new music. And speaking of Miranda, she is scheduled to make a surprise appearance here in Nashville. Very important one. I'll tell you about that next week when it's not a surprise. Yes, I can keep a secret. All right, speaking of Miranda and Blake, you know Neil McCoy was their wedding singer. And good news for Neil, he has signed a new record deal and will be recording new music later this year. I'll keep you posted. On with this too, Jimmy Wayne has been in the recording studio. I produce his radio show that he does weekly out of Nashville, and I can tell you that it is not unusual for Jimmy to walk in to the studio with his favorite girl. That would be Ruby. All right, I have an email here from Angela in Scott City, Kansas. She's asking me for some news on Garth. I'll tell you that the latest I know personally was from Trisha Yearwood. Interviewed her a while back, and I was talking to her about her cookbook, and in talking to her about the cookbook, I said, well, what's Garth up to lately? And she said, well, you know what? He's probably home about now, trying to think of something to cook for dinner for the kids out of a box. I just thought that was funny. From a woman who wrote a cookbook and her husband cooking out of a box. Around Music Row, presented by Diamond Gusset Jeans. For 25 years, genuine, original, and always American made. Diamond Gusset. Well, for those of us who have been listening to country music for a while know that Foster and Lloyd were a big hit in the late 80s, but since then they haven't recorded as a duo until now. They have a new CD out called It's Already Tomorrow, and they performed in Nashville this week and did some interviews. In fact, I talked to them for my radio show. You can find out more about that at shannoncountry.com. These two guys, Radney Foster and Bill Lloyd, have both gone on to have great successful careers of their own as singers, songwriters, artists, as well as producers. In fact, I'll give you a little challenge as we wrap up the show. If you have a Keith Urban CD, go check it. See if you can find the Radney Foster credit on there. That's all for now. I'll talk to you real soon with more news of what's going on in Music City. I'm Shannon McCombs. Also, the man, get out. Get out. Move. Move. You're not in this show.